All right. Happy Saturday. Let's do a brief sound check and make sure that everyone can see and hear me. I hope you're doing really, really well. Where's everybody tuning in from this morning? We'll chit-chat a little bit, give everyone a chance to get their notifications. Thanks for being here and supporting my channeling. These channel messages mean a lot to me. I've been channeling since age 5, both trance channeling and regular channeling. I didn't really want to show the world my channeling for quite some time because we don't really live in a world that accepts that kind of stuff just yet. And how that happened was a friend dared me to do it. And that's how this YouTube channel happened. I said, what, who am I to do that? And she said, well, why not? But why not? Do you think the beings would say, who are you to do that? And I said, no, probably they wouldn't. And that's how this channel got started. And I remember I was shaking and crying, and the whole situation that like the sound stopped working and all sorts of fun things happened. It was a very humbling experience. And it took off a little faster than I had hoped and was prepared for. And boom, here you are. Long story short, many years later, that's my story. Yeah. I didn't want to wear the fall colors that I typically wear because I felt like we're in a place between the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse, and it's kind of a stuck point that needs an extra boost of energy. Because if you think about it, and this is one of the messages I woke up with, is that we have, let's look at it from the numerology perspective. 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. So write down 1. All right. So 1 in spirituality from the angel number perspective, according to Metatron, it means stepping forth, taking a step forward on your true divine path towards your true divine nature. It's like on the right track, stepping forward. That's what 1 means, right? Then you have 2, 1, 2, 3. So it's like take a step forward into your true divine nature and true divine self. And then, oh, that's hard. Look at the ways that my life will have to change. Look at the actual natural consequences and ramifications of success and happiness. Oh, crap. Better take a step back. Now we've explained the 1, the 2, and the 1. The 1 is a step forward. The 0 is 0 point, getting used to how you step forward onto your path. 2 is like another step forward, and oh my, I manifested something that I wasn't ready for in my true divine nature. And then the 1 again, stepping back. Now tomorrow is 10/22, so that's another 2, stepping forward again. Do you see what you're doing? You're on the track finally right now after the solar eclipse, and then you step forward once again into a true manifestation. Success showed itself to you. Breaking of an old pattern, opening up. And that felt wonderful and scary at the same time. So you moved back. You chose safety and the old karmic pattern over dharma and true expansion and growth. So 1, 2, 1, and then we have 10, 2, 2, 2 again. 1, 2, 1, 2. Forward, back, 1, 2, 1, 2. Over the course of the next days of 21, 22, and 23. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3. Forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. So you know what's not happening? A forward and a staying there. We don't get there until 10/23. Then we stay there. Okay. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, and then 2, 3. But we're doing the 1, 2, 1 right now in 10/21. Tomorrow we'll go to a point of breaking that pattern, energetically speaking. So that's what we're talking about. Save your questions for later if you don't mind, because this is a time loop. Take a look at the picture that's up, the how the energy of the thumbnail moves. It moves in an interesting portal. Forward, stuck, forward a little bit more, stuck, forward a little bit more, stuck. So if you feel like you're not actually making a shift into Dharma, a shift into your true divine nature, I want you to take a step back, use the Metatron invocation that he's about to give to you, use it daily, and that will give you sort of a bird's eye perspective, like looking down upon the whole of things. And then you'll be able to see all of your points of change and then the overall growth and manifestations that you've been going through over the course of all this time between 2020 and 2023. You will see that 2020 to 23 were all those back, forward, back, forward, back, forward. Oh, I think I'll stay here this time. That's what the lunar eclipse is about. As we head into that on October the 28th, we get a chance to say, okay, we moved through 7 seals of consciousness and we either chose them and we'll continue to work on them throughout November and December of this year, or we chose to say the same. What did you choose? Right? So this unique time, this time loop brings us between these 2 points of choice consciousness, points of free agency, points where you get to look at your life and get upset that things stayed the same, or look at your life and look at the whole picture. I did that today. Like these past 2 weeks, I've been moving through the stuck, move, stuck, forward, move, stuck points as well in this time loop. And particularly it's showing up physically for me because I'm on a weight loss journey. And that's just the nature of I have to lose a little bit of weight if I want to skate. So I looked today and I was like, holy cow, yesterday I looked and it was 3 pounds up. And then today I'm just going to stop weighing myself because it's 3 pounds up, 3 pounds down, 3 pounds up, 3 pounds. And it's not like I even eat a lot. So where is that coming from? So I use the Metatron invocation, the Archangel Metatron invocation that he's about to give you. I'm going to write it down so you can take screenshots and use it for yourself. And he said, yeah, go to your closet and pick out a shirt that you haven't worn, for your YouTubers today in a very long time. And I picked it out and I was like, this thing's about to swallow me. It's like, booze everywhere. Just really. And he's like, now you see it? Look at your old patterns, but also look at the overall natural consequence and radical repercussions that you're moving through. It may seem small to you, but maybe this time 3 months ago, if you look at it from that perspective, you will see a bigger shift in your body, your mind, and your soul in your true Dharma. Your Dharma, I've said this time and time again, your Dharma is your true potential for soul mastery. That's important. That's very important coming out of the solar eclipse equinox point, spring equinox point to solar eclipse, and now moving into the lunar eclipse. We have to make a choice to look at things in the bird's eye view. So let me pull out my little drawing board. This is what we do. All right. Oh, everything's going to just fall over when I do that. Hang on. No, we don't want that. We want a black fine point pen. No, I'm going to use the bigger marker. You remember I posted yesterday, for those of you who follow me on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, a little meme, and it said your world, and it shows the world spinning. That was when this Metatron message began. And he said, choose to look in a bird's eye perspective at the movement of your world and the wholeness of it. I invoke the true vision of the parts of the whole in my progression of Dharma. I wrote that in very big letters for you to take. So can everybody see that? For those of you who like to do your screenshots, it would be a really good idea for you to do that now. All right. Do you have that? I'll read it again. I invoke the true vision of the parts of the whole in my progression of Dharma. We need to look at all of the components, all the quotients of all the little parts of our success and how we got there, and every little step along the way as we head into the lunar eclipse energies together. And these are the colors he's representing, like gold, beautiful light orange, the colors of the trees, as well as the colors of the ocean. We're going to release with the energy of water all the patterns of belief and staying stuck. And we're going to pull in with the energies of the golden harvest coming up. The harvest moon is coming up. So many interesting things are coming about for the fall, for you to take advantage of continuing to release what isn't there, but continuing to light your way towards gratitude in what is there and what has happened in all the parts of your wholeness. You understand his message today. Really, 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 really important. Okay. Save your questions if you don't mind for the time when he finishes his messages. I'm going to put that down now. You know what? I'll keep it over here in case anybody didn't get the invocation, in case we have to repeat it and hold that back up. So you're going to have this opportunity to get out of these stuck moments by looking at all the parts of the great cosmic machinery of the universe and how universal law operates in you down to the physical cellular nature of you. You've got to accept how your body operates in that too, how your ego operates in that, and how it is being infused into the true light of your soul's unique individual dharma, because ascension is shifting right now. We used to ascend collectively and everyone was working together as a whole, and we didn't see the parts of how we fit in individually in our free agency. What's important now is that we understand how powerful our dharma is when we recognize our part of the collective, our part of the entire human consciousness, right? Otherwise, we're going to be busy looking and distracted at all the pain going on right now. So many people are asking about, it's so sad to think about, so I don't want to pull you too deeply into it, but the pain of what's going on right now in other parts of the world and the wars, particularly the pain in Palestine and Israel. And we have to accept our individual consciousness as separate, but part of that as well. We had to collectively cause it or it wouldn't be here. But what can we do individually to change it? The only thing we can do is pray, bless, and send light. Pray, bless, and send light. Pray, bless, and send light every day. And then use this invocation to light up your individual path in consciousness so powerfully that you are a beacon for Palestine and Israel. You are a beacon. Instead of feeling discouraged at everything that's going on in the world right now, send your light out as an individual beacon for God consciousness, for cosmic source, to light the way for Israel and Palestine. If every single one of us did this, that would have so much of a healing effect on that war and on so many other things, child sex trafficking, some changes going on in the falling of governmental structures right now, 3D structures. They have to fall before we could build any 5D structures, according to Metatron. So in this way, we need to understand that we are ascending individually. We have switched over from collective ascension to individual ascension. And you can see what's going on in the world. You can see it and you can choose to let it hurt you and make you stay discouraged and stuck, and then reinvigorate all those old individual stuck patterns in your life. Or you can send sacred action with love and light, send blessings and prayers. Send everything. If you have money, send it. If you have prayers, send it. Everybody's got prayers, right? Everybody has energy that you can send. We can all do that every single day, multiple times a day, and we can do our parts individually to awaken our Dharma. We can do our parts individually to choose happiness instead of feeling guilt and shame for privilege. Choose happiness, choose success, choose a healthy mind and body on a daily basis. That's really an important part of Archangel Metatron's message coming through to us today, is to choose, stop saying, well, I'm ashamed of my privilege. I'm ashamed of my skin color and that I'm white, or I'm ashamed that I have money, or I'm ashamed that I don't. You know, I'm ashamed that I have a nice house to live in or a decent car. No, if you have money, send it. If you have, don't send prayers, send light, send energy. Do what you can, but do your part individually. We are ascending individually. Free agency is the most powerful part of Christed consciousness right now. So are we going to stay stuck, or are we going to move forward? So we will have this opportunity to choose old patterns of fear, pain, sameness, energy blocks, stuck points, and stuck consciousness. And if you do that, it's okay. You do that for reasons of safety. But how many years are you going to be saying, I'm not ready? I'm not ready for my mastery. I need more money. I need more time. I need more acceptance from people around me. Your Dharma is waiting on you right now. Right now. And that will help you recognize, release, and move forward into your true soul identity, which is a cosmic nature. It's from cosmic consciousness. Do you understand? So otherwise, we're going to be repeating painful karmic patterns all the way throughout the lunar eclipse, and the lunar eclipse is going to bite you in the bum. It's going to hurt. So we prepare for this now by recognizing points of awareness that keep us stuck in the mind, the body, and the soul. Right? Because otherwise, it's one step forward, one step back, and then before you're ready, 2 quantum leaps coming up during that unique portal of the October the 28th lunar eclipse. Don't worry, I've got a video coming up to get you through that as well. We'll pull in one of the councils or one of my favorite spirit guides to guide us through it. But it's coming up beginning October the 28th, and it's 2 quantum leaps forward. Time doesn't even feel the same anymore. You may now, if you felt weird before, if you felt like the weirdo in the room, the weirdo in the building, the weirdo in your family, you're not even going to be prepared for you stepping forward so quickly, awakened folk. Those of you who are on a spiritual path, you're going to move forward quickly in this next eclipse, and you're not going to be ready for it. And if you're not ready for it, then what we tend to do is choose safety over expansion, and then we call it self-love, or we call it boundaries. Or we say, this is my self-care for the moment. Let's go take a damn bubble bath. Get out of the bubble bath and into the gym. You know, meditation's wonderful, but we're moving out of the necessity of 2.5 hour long meditations, and we're moving into active walking meditation, connecting with trees, plants, and animals, connecting with our soul. We're moving into that now. That's the meditation now. Sending active sound healing, chanting for people, but also learning to step into active prayer and chants, not just somewhere in your prayer closet or in your meditation room. Actively praying, meditating, and chanting, and moving into sharing with the world. Okay, healers, starseeds, awakened folk. This is what's going on. Questions. Let's open up the floor for questions now. Let me pull up chat so that I can see you. Thank you for the super chat. Can you give us a definition to Dharma beyond Hindu meaning? Metatron's definition of Dharma is your true soul's potential. It is beyond time. You choose an expression of it in each and every lifetime, and yet in each and every lifetime, when you experience time, you expand upon it differently, more powerfully, more beautifully, and more personally in your free agency. Dharma is your true soul nature and activation of your true soul's potential. Okay. see if there are any more questions. Now I'm opening up the floor for questions. Any kind of questions you have that's relevant to your life right now, go ahead. And if you think that this wouldn't be the appropriate place, I want you to know that we also have a lower cost 10-minute reading available for the first time. That's the first time I've ever offered that. So many people were wanting a more affordable option, and we hear you and you ask, and our team will deliver. So check out my website if you want that. All right. You can go into that, and you don't even have to be there. As a matter of fact, it's easier. Write in your questions and go to work, and Metatron's got you covered. All I need is a picture and a question. I don't need anyone to be there live. What do I need to work on? Well, what's your first name? I do need that. Ukraine 369. Come back and tell me your real first name, or whatever you call yourself. It can be your spiritual name. It can be anything you're comfortable with. Tina says, how can I get out of the mindset of scarcity? I know you guys love tools. So I've been working with the Oracle cards lately. So let's see what comes up. As a gentle reminder of how channeling works in Oracle cards, if you get a card that's right side up, that's your dharma. If it's upside down, that's your karma, your blocks, your stuck points, etc. Okay. And thank you for that super chat, Tina Heiler. I mispronounced your name. Didn't I recently do a reading for you? Maybe it was the Egyptian Akash. Let's see. Can I get out of the mindset? How can Tina and anyone listening, get out of the mindset of scarcity? Okay. Let's see how many karma and dharma cards you got. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dharma cards, which means that the only thing you need to do is focus on removing this one. Use water to purify your thought streams. We're going into November, so all over my Patreon channel and on YouTube, we're going to be talking about activating gratitude and working on releasing that which holds us away from gratitude. Okay? Purify using the element of water. Here's what you're good at, but you stopped because you don't like it and you have some shame. He says you need to move, ecstatic dance, movement, celebrate. That celebration is one of the higher frequencies accessible to the human thought stream. So when you dance, and oh my goodness, we got football season coming up. So go shake your booty when your team wins. Seriously, get into the sports right now. It's okay. There's a lot of celebration consciousness in sports. Do whatever resonates with you. This is for Tina and anyone listening. All right. They're suggesting that you will have prosperity and abundant times ahead, but that you need to utilize the grace of fortitude to access your soul's strength because your body's tired. And when your soul takes over, your body can be reinvigorated. I go through this daily, so I get it. Have a lot more gentle understanding with yourself. It's okay. All right. So for Tina or anyone listening, that was for her and or the collective of people here today. Let's see. All right. Christy Marie says, let's see, can Metatron share any guidance for where I am right now? There are lots of changes and I'm feeling quite lost. Mahalo. Kristen. Okay, thank you for giving me the name. Any guidance for Kristen and anyone else who feels throughout these changes lost and they're not sure what to do? He says you're kind of stuck on a decision point, and he has been trying to get this message through to you, Kristen, right now, to move through the point of decision, even if you feel you need more time, even if you feel you don't have physical strength, even if you feel that you're not ready, whatever your mind is telling you, ignore it, is the first thing I'm getting. Okay. And he's saying healing is in your DNA. It's in your karma. You're pulling this over from your other ancestors. Connect with Pele. There's been a lot of loss for you right now, but you need to gain a cosmic perspective. He's suggesting that you use the invocation that, I'm sorry, my tools are just falling all over the place today, that we pulled through earlier. Use this invocation. I invoke the true vision of the parts of the whole in my progression of Dharma. We need to work with calling in your Dharma and asking to see a cosmic perspective. Okay. And he said that your mind isn't still. We got this karmic card here. And we need to do whatever we can, even if you have to tire out the body, do whatever you can to like exercise, stretching, yoga, whatever you need to do to tire out the body so that the mind will be still. All right. Let's see. So a lot of people putting in questions without putting in names, and then I just see your username. If you have a personal question, I will need your first name. I won't be able to just guess it. I need that. Okay, Mandy, what do I need to work on now? Well, first of all, he says your car needs work. Something up with it. You'll hear some squealing in a belt coming up, and when that happens, pay attention. Energy frequency management, psychic hygiene, psychic energy hygiene, clearing your auric field and your chakra systems and being more aware in that. And focusing on your divine connection by remembering your European elders, your European ancestors. The stones call you, he says. The stones and the stone circles. Right? Okay, you guys don't really want to ask highest and best stuff, do you? It's not a favorite question of Metatron because when he tells you, you never like the answer. Highest and best is like sometimes the most painful karma that you could possibly master. And if you want to know how to do that, like he'll tell you how to do it, but it's pain. That's not the easy route. Not at all. So when you ask for highest and best, it's like, do you really want that? He will give you a moment to rephrase that unless you just want that. Otherwise, Tracy, we will pull that in that direction. Okay, balanced. What is the most balanced direction? He says, you know, when we think about balance, we think about this amount of work, this amount of play, this amount of sleep, this amount of love and relationship, this amount of exercise. And then we think like what's wrong and what's right. And then when we don't go into that, it's really something that we do when we pull outside of time. We're like, well, we don't be too attached to time. So they're not worried if we're too late or we're not honoring the principles of time. So we're just kind of flowing along through life and seeing what lands and happens for us to see exactly how much we need of what. That doesn't work either because then we don't actually honor time, and time is a beautiful gift. And then we're late for everything. I don't know about you guys. There's nothing that bugs me more than a slowpoke. I like to be on time or early. You know, you can see my Generation X stuff coming out right now because I've always been like, if you're not early, you're late. It's disrespectful to other people who actually want to be on time and want you to be on time. So Metatron is about understanding that time isn't real, but honoring the gift of time and what you can manifest. So time is going to be very, very important right now. He said, upon the next moon, you've made a promise to yourself you would be at a certain place this time next year. All right. So something's going on in my household. Give me a second. Okay. Sorry, it's just my son watching sports. I'm like, is someone hurting? And he's like, ah! No, teenager loudness. He says, I'm going to wait on everybody to be quiet. Saturday is a hard time to channel. This is why I'm typically not on Saturday because sports are on. My kids are rather watching boxing or football or something, and they're like, ah! Okay, so he says, Tracy, you made a promise that you would be at a certain place at a certain time this year, and you've been hard on yourself. Just invite this upon the next new moon. Invite this and take the next most believable step in sacred action towards honoring it, and just invite that magic and see what happens. It's going to be beautiful. Do that and then go with the flow. Invite the fairies in. Reconnect to the earth magic of the upcoming fall harvest. All right. And just wait. You'd be surprised how the pieces just kind of begin to fall into place for you. All right. Yeah. All right. Marshall says, I'm wondering if there's anything I should know in regards to my physical health. Detox the liver. That means something to you, not just physically, but personally. So let's get some deeper guidance. He said there are dormant aspects of you that you are ignoring, parts of your soul that you're putting on hold in lieu of taking care of everybody else's needs. And that's because there was a big loss that you and your family haven't healed from. So everybody is still banding together, but you had this powerful idea towards opening up your soul, and you put it on hold for everyone else. Upon the next lunar eclipse, that needs to stop, and it gets to be you time. Okay, Stacy says, I'm stuck and I can't figure out why. He says, is there always a reason? Is there? Let's pull some cards on that. Sometimes it's a feeling of being uncomfortable with newness. And when we want to know, we want to be in control of how a new period in our life is going to actually look. And is it really going to be safe? And when we don't know, we just don't really do anything. And we start waiting on things just to happen for us. So he said, I want you to open up to the divine feminine a little bit more. Open up and understand that what you thought was impossible is actually possible in moving ahead in your life. Be in sacred union with your heart and with your soul. Don't worry about any physical sacred unions right now. There are some ideas about physical sacred union that are ending or changing for you right now, and that's okay because your guides got your back. Now, it's just a gentle reminder for that. And thank you for the super chat. Oh, Bridget, should I hire a different contractor? Let's see. I love doing these readings with you guys. It's so much fun. I wish that I could get more of you to show up live. So keep not just your regular notifications on, but like click all in the notifications bell when that little window pops open and you scroll down, because I want to do this more often, but I'm not going to do it if only a few of you are here, you know, because I want to reach a ton of you at the same time. And the more, the better, because the energy of that is incredible when we have our energies together. So they have breached a contract with a timeline is the first thing that comes up. There's a veiled consciousness. You guys, it's like you guys are sun and moon, two different energies. Do you know what he's saying here? So they breached a contract, and because of the seasons going on in Mother Earth right now, they can't actually complete something. Like weather is going to get in the way, something's going to get in the way like that. Don't be too hard on yourself. It's like you're looking at how many times do I have to do this? Like how many times do I hire people and then they don't do their jobs? Like you're looking at that contract a little bit too much and blaming yourself a little bit too much. Be aware that now's not the time to be doing this work. Now's the time for divine connection, taking a rest and restarting in the spring. And he says, I know that you're thinking, well, that's not possible because, I can't live this way, but there are little changes where you can kind of just like a bear in hibernation, just put this on hold for a little while and go to another contractor after this season. Wait is what I'm hearing. Fire that person and then wait. You have good riddance. You have the right to do that. JJ, thanks for the super chat. Tivon says, what, oh man, what I am involved in would change my children and parents' lives. How do you feel? Why do I feel like I'm hitting a wall with this? Be more specific, you'll get more specific. There's a lot I could say about that from him. Rephrase the question. It's just too vague to go deeply into in this particular portal. Michael says, my veil is coming down. All right. Is there anything I should focus on that I'm missing, especially in terms of finances? He says, yeah. So let's see also how we can go deeper into the cards with this. Such a powerful time right now to be focusing on this. Some of the work I do with people to help them in their investments in cryptos has been just wild. These past 2 months, we had a lot of hit and miss, and now we're coming into a lot more success with that. With money, it's like you made a decision to invest in something and then you either didn't do it or you didn't do it enough. And then you were mad that it did not actually replenish or nourish you financially. And that's because the decision was only halfway made. We can't go in halfway. If you're going to go in, right? Because otherwise you're kicking yourself when something like hits and then you're like, oh, I could have doubled or tripled that, right? Remember this path. Remember to be on the path. It takes a choice to honor your soul. So you kind of let yourself down a little bit there. It's like you were wanting to do something and you only halfway did it. Why? Shift that perspective next time. You played it safe a little bit. Oh, that's really cool. Why do I feel like I'm hitting a wall with this? Well, let's see. Let's see what this is. Is she hitting a wall? He says sometimes when you develop a product, when it comes to patents, spiritually speaking, it's harder to get one, particularly because the people who govern patterns feel like it'll be almost too good, like it'll put somebody out of business or something. I know it's kind of like how I feel with this invention. Like he says, it's too good. The Arise card comes up. That's like, okay, arise from the pain of this. This will come about. This will happen in due timing and divine order. He will help you with it. Use the invocation we gave earlier. All right. Danielle says, hi, Pamela and Metatron. Is there anything I should be working on more diligently? Let's find out. He said your knee. What's up with your knee? We need to talk a little bit about that. It needs some physical therapy and some stretching and the ice heat treatment. And he also said breath practice right now is important, and you're holding yourself back from Dharma right now and for your true soul to really work through you. It could be because of some physical stuff, right? So work on DNA activation and healing any stuck karma. Those are the things you can work on. And that's not just for the knee, but for so many things coming up. This is going to require doing something different. Okay. Goddess of New York City, thank you for the super chat, but what is your name? JJ says, can I get guidance with my music and novel writing? For novel writing, go creative fiction. Fantasy or creative fiction. And consider making a very dark character that everyone can relate to. A very dark character that does things that are just incomprehensible and irreprehensible, and then make people understand him. Go back to childhood you. What would childhood you want to read that parents said, oh, no, that's too dark? There's a darkness in you that wants to come out. It's already come out in your music, so now it's going to come out in the writing. So you weren't afraid to face that darkness in music, but now it's time in writing. Okay. Let's see here if Goddess of New York City came back and gave us a name. She did not. I don't think. Wonder if I know this person. It feels like I know you or something. Renee. Okay. All right. Thank you. What is causing so many delays in my current move? Is the house? Is this the house I should be moving into? I've been experiencing so many setbacks. You're not alone, he says. A lot of times when he pops in my readings, we notice setbacks in moving and delays in closings and a bunch of things like that going on right now. So that's the first thing he wants you to know. But it is in your karma to work through this, and you will. Okay. Ground yourself throughout the process. This is connected to like fear of moving when you were little, like when you need to and you actually don't, or when you move too much, or some kind of pain associated with what moving meant to you as a child, according to this karmic card, represents that message. You're doing a really good idea for taking responsibility for grounding yourself right now. But there is an issue of support that needs to come up. And the karmic card, gray, shows up in this karmic position upside down, right by the dharmic card, divine love. And he says there has to be something reconciled in relationships around you, you and someone else right now, because like you've fallen out of grace with this, but this will heal. And then you'll be back on track. Then like you're into the Dharma, and then suddenly everything starts to fall back into place. So yeah, this is the place that you're supposed to be moving into. It's just a little bit of a setback. You're not alone. Let's see. I want to know, what are my gifts? Will my third eye open? He said it's not time for that. Sometimes when our third eye doesn't open, it just means that's not meant to be our dominant ability. That's not meant to be our jive. You could have something else going on that you're going to be better at. And if your third eye opens and you're not psychologically ready, even if you think you are, you're going to go nuts. That's when people go into deep, dark nights of the soul, when the third eye opens and, yeah. So right now we're working on releasing volatility, anger, resentment, stuff like that, you being hard on yourself. You are here for understanding cosmic creation. You're a visionary, and you're meant to connect to the galactics. So you're meant to be a contactee. Hello, fellow weirdo. That's me too. That's going to take some time alone. Luckily, you have it right now. Those are your true gifts. Talk to them and return those messages in writing for people or in film. Both, he says. Hell, why not both? Let's see. Is it okay to get answers on my help from Metatron? A lot of inflammation around the lungs and heart right now. It's kind of predisposed, a little bit of a tendency coming down on your dad's side of the family, possibly from grandpa as well. Health is getting better right now. We got the grace card. You'll get some grace from your body. Your immune system will actually get better, not worse, rising like the phoenix with the health. Health is actually going to get better. Tap into the cosmic card. He will help you use the invocation that we gave earlier. All right. Okay. Let me see if I'm missing anybody. Tristan says, how can I meet my partner? Where is he? And can you tell him to hurry? Metatron went, If you want me to do that, that's how breakups start. Yeah, I'm a fellow Gen Xer as well. I understand what you're saying, that you struggle with the slowness of things, but it's like you can't hurry up grace. Divine timing is divine timing. If we push things too soon, you're going to get the perfect person who ends up leaving you, or they're not ready for you, or you're not ready for them. I have definitely pushed divine timing before. I manifested, you know, the perfect situations and then had a lot of karma to work through, a lot of pain. You never want to do that. Like, let things happen in their timing. All right? Because then you guys got to get through so much pain together. So I have a feeling like right now he's traveling on the western portion of Europe. CL, first name, middle initial, or in a very short first name in general, but very much to himself right now. Very much. We get the cave card, the island card, the reflection card. This means that both of you need to be spending time just getting used to being alone. And that's okay. This is going to take some time. We can't tell you when, but it's definitely not this winter. Let's see. Why am I stuck regarding my spiritual path? What is your actual first name? Is it Ani? Aniko? Okay. You seem familiar. Let's see. Why is Aniko stuck in the spiritual path? Okay. You need to learn to make everything sacred and everything about reverence. Right now, you're looking at your spiritual path as being something you put over here. I'm going to go do some ceremonies and invocations or meditations or whatever you do that's sacred to you. And you're kind of taking all that and putting it over here somewhere, right? These are great things, but you're kind of segregating that as being something that should be separate from your 3D practical existence. You need to infuse that into your practical existence and make what is boring to you more reverent and sacred. Make what is painful to you more reverent and sacred. That'll help a ton. Try that. That's practical enlightenment. What is the purpose of my mental health struggles? Metatron gave me a Pandora's box and it's like flying open. And this image I'm getting is that everything's flying out of it and it's just like stuff going everywhere, right? And you're just kind of sitting there like a deer in the headlights, like it all happened too fast. Sometimes that happens. This is why I tell people to slow down. It's okay. This is an initiation. It's all right. You had all this stuff open to you cosmically before your heart was healed. And you are an empath, so that's hurting as well. It's a lot hurting right now. So that's why. That's what's going on here. Don't be down on yourself. It's all in divine, perfect for divine order. And it is all as it should be. And God doesn't make mistakes. He's reminding you that Creator doesn't make mistakes and that all will be well. This is your unique dark night of the soul initiation. And it does get better. It's not always this way. What direction to go on education? Continue the direction I'm going or go in a new direction? He said, so why did you choose the first direction to begin with? Because why? There was like an interesting part of the ego that was directing you at that stage versus the soul. So you're so close and you actually don't need education anyway. So for what you're headed towards, you turned off your divine light to go in the direction, but you're too close to the finish line to end it. So go ahead, pull up, be inspired, put on the big girl panties, pull yourself up by the bootstraps and move forward and be inspired into completion of it. Go with the flow. Go with it. You already started. It's too late to stop it now. You already started this. Okay. Caroline, be more specific. I'm going to use the dragon deck for you. She's wondering about direction with career. Let's see. I'll keep an eye on the chat to see if you can be more specific. But if not, I'm just going to pull a general message on that. Be at peace. A job is a job. It's offering you independence, and it's offering you a moment to connect to the universe in your spare time and to help the world as well, and to connect to the cosmos, to collect to the galactics. It's offering you peace and independence. It's not the best. It's not the worst. It's just a job, is what he says. Some of us starseeds really need to hear that, because we go into it and we think that we need to be doing something spiritual for a living, but we're not really prepared for knowing how to run a business, knowing how to advertise it, knowing how to market ourselves incessantly in this sea of people who have come out as light workers since COVID. You know, the competition is pretty tight, right? So sometimes we just need to give ourselves that permission to infuse light into the day job, right? Tavon, how can I get a personal reading? Ask a personal question, or just say general, and Metatron will do a general. It's enough to live, though, Caroline. Back to you. It's enough to live on, and that's it. And if you made more than enough to live on right now, you would actually stay, and you're meant to actually work in the spiritual realms. And if you make a ton, you won't actually start the other business that you're meant to start. So that's what's going on from the karmic perspective. If we get too comfortable, we won't push ourselves into where we need to go either. And that we just won't do it. We'll just stay status quo in that case. Let's see. And the other way to get a personal reading, Tavon, is if you don't want to do general or put a specific question, is to, we have an offer for a 10-minute reading at very low cost right now on my website. That's the other way to like get a personal, like a longer, more personalized reading. Let's see. Who's next? What does Natalia need to know and do now? That's like two different questions. New home and future, when, where, when, where. Okay. I don't know you enough to know where. Like, I'd really need to see a face to be able to get that specific. As Metatron says, it doesn't matter. He says you do need to be near water, and you do need to be near the tall trees. You need a forest near you. You're just very nurtured by forest. You need a place that accentuates your connection to all 8 limbs of yoga. That's really, really important. Let's see, is there a new home in the future? It's going to require getting through the fall. If we get through this fall equinox, then the fairies can do their magic. So just kind of settle in. It's not time yet, but you're on the right track. You're on the right track. And next year is a better time than this year, is what he's saying. Let's get through the fall and the early stages of winter, and then look at it again. Thank you for the super chat, Misty. She says, my natal chart says I'm psychic. How do I figure out in what way and how to use it? This is a really popular question, and he said it should come up in your daily life. People come in your direction that need help. Don't turn them down. Practice with them. Share with them. Share your messages. Start out with just the people around you, right? Let's see what he has to say. He says you're more of a physical medium in terms of the use of tools. So you can try pendulums, cards. In your past lifetime, you loved dowsing, so you can try that again and see if that kind of activates something in you. But what would be really good right now is to, let me show you, use crystals and stones, and try rune stones as well, specifically for you because of your druidic past lifetimes. Use towers or pointer crystals and find a way that they fit well in your hands. So when I'm working on energy, I love these types of crystals, and I like to draw sacred symbols out in front of me. Okay, this is one of my favorite ways to draw the figure eights. Okay. Yeah, I draw them in this way. And I do that for many different reasons. But that also gives me access to portal energy where I can get clairvoyant information or telepathic downloads when I open up a portal using crystals, opening up a figure eight portal. Then I will be pulled in between the two converging circles into an energy timeline of truth for that person. And you can try that as well, because that's something that he wanted me to share with you. Let's see. Carrie says, no matter where I'm at, who I'm with, or what I'm doing, I always feel so different from everyone else around me. How can I move out of this reclusive rut that I'm in? He said, goodness, just accept it. You're going to be different. You're just going to be. You're going to be different. And when you own that as a part of your soul's nature and as a part of your true power, as a part of your true soul's identity, you're going to feel better about that. And it's not going to change. You're not meant to belong. You're not meant to fit in. How can you awaken people or help people if they want to be the same, and then you're going to be exactly like them, and you're going to belong by being like them and having things in common? You can't help people if you're like them. That's just too relatable. They don't even respect that. They want something different. People are thirsty for something different, my fellow weirdos. This is a part of your transformation that you are ignoring. And the moment you realize that and let your weird flag fly, it's going to be easier. Okay. Let's see who's next. Drew says, will I have peace, safety, and financial security for the rest of my life? He said, really? You didn't come here for that. You came here for growth. You didn't come here to pretend that you're in kindergarten. Let's see what the cards also say. And he shows us some symbols. Now, he doesn't care if you're 56 or 86. You could have contracts that pull you out of peace and safety no matter what. And he says you don't understand this. You think you're here for just to retire and be at peace and do nothing now. We do have money issues. Money is slowly running out right now, and that's so that you don't get too uncomfortable. You're not here to retire. You're here to rest for a little while. You're here to heal from grief. But if you get too comfortable with financial security, then what will you do? What then? Then you don't serve. You don't reach people. So that's a big wake-up call. The veil will lift with this message alone, this awareness, because right now you kind of lost a little bit of your magic in your soul, a little bit of your wonder, because you're just wanting that in exchange for safety and a nice little boring retired life. And that's not in the cards. You need to help people. And if you get too financially independent and secure, you won't. You'll just settle into this grief and you'll just let it kind of roll you on through until you roll on in the grave. Is that what you want? Nope. Let's see. Gary M says, what message does Metatron have for me today? No more super chats, please. I'm having a hard time catching up. And I want to end here soon and go spend some time with my family and get some rest. Gary, what message does he have? He said, you shut your healing capacity down for a little while because you were going through something in your physical health and you're not beyond the threshold of fear. You're not feeling like that whatever was happening in the health is done with you. And yet you also want to be the supporter for your family. And there's somebody else around you who's really sick or something's going on in her health or their health. And it's like you shut down the healing part of you because you were afraid of not being able to support them. So your fear actually shut that down. So connect to Divine Mother is the message, and then you can heal both that person and you. And he said, I am with you, and I am helping you, and I know your pain. Prisma, Crystalla, I hope that those are one of your names. I really do. General reading. Okay. I feel the need to pull the dragon cards in this one. Oh my gosh. What are you going through? We need to drink more water. We need to bless water. We need to work with the water element. We need to live near water or take a vacation near water, be near water, put your feet in water, do Epsom salt baths. He's like, water, 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 more water. Your self-worth is being challenged by people around you right now and is making you go into a cave. You're not liking it, right? That's not fun. Let's see. I feel like I want to pull from my soul contracts deck to kind of go deeper into this. Something's coming up in terms of who are true friends and do I need them and do I need friends? How much time do I spend? Am I even a good friend? And am I even in the place to be a good friend? Like when I read you, like your head is just about that. This will extend itself through to you. You have his blessing. You will begin to understand that this was an initiation into you as a medium. This was an initiation because you needed a lot of privacy and time, and it's not really time to be around even small groups of people right now, especially there's just too much drama. People may have been noticing that in your friend circles, that there's a lot of drama. It's very hard to have friends without personal drama right now, because people are going through so much transformation that they're actually resisting, and you're not resisting it. So you'll be seen as kind of the outsider. So pull into yourself and focus on mediumship and getting through to messages beyond the veil. All right. Thank you so much, guys. This was a lot of fun. I will see you in the masterclass tomorrow. If you don't mind, please like, share, hit that subscribe button. Please turn on your notification buttons, click all. Otherwise, it just sends you messages of when I'm live whenever it wants to, and then you'll miss the opportunity to do this. And don't forget, we have a very affordable 10-minute reading available on my website right now. That's something I've never done before. Because I'm fairly quick at reading, you don't even have to show up. Just put in your questions in the form and pop a picture in there, and then go to work, and then your spirit team will answer all those questions in detail for you, and it'll be waiting for you in your email when you get home. Wonderful, right? I've never really done that before in terms of like offering that before in that particular style of reading. So I'm looking forward to this offer and giving everyone a chance to be able to afford a reading. And I love doing this free here live as well. So thank you for supporting. Thank you for liking and subscribing. I have a Patreon channel that I've linked to the top of the chat, where there's like since 2017, hundreds of readings. We have a spiritual development Q&A coming up there next Tuesday, where you can come and ask your questions and get a reading there as well. Show up live with us. There's powerful energy there on the channel when you can show up live. So, yeah. All right. Bye.